Hi, I'm Mary Knysh, and I'm a music educator. I'm an Orff Schubert clinician, and I'm a musician and also an author. And I am so happy to be here with Rhythm Band Instruments to share in my passion and also NAM's passion of belief in music. I loved the theme this year because I believe in music. I believe in the transformative power of music and music education to connect the disconnected in these challenging and changing times, and also to ignite a lifelong passion for learning. I think that we could reimagine the effects that music education could have, not only on our students, but on parents of the students, on the community at large, and even reaching out into seniors and nursing homes. How could our music education and music making experiences change the experience moving forward of our communities? Let's take a look at why music education is so important for our children, and actually for all of us at any age. Neuroscientists say that there are 4 primary pathways to developing neuroplasticity in the brain. Our brains are always changing, and there are 4 ways that we actually can promote those changes. The first one is making music. It's no surprise to us as music educators because we know the power that music has for our students. We know that learning music is bigger than learning notes on a page and learning to read music and learning to sing songs. We understand that learning music is learning a new language for self-expression. And nonverbal self-expression, particularly in this time period, is so important. The beauty of the language of music is everybody gets it. We understand it in a very deep and meaningful way, and we can connect to it in a deep and meaningful way as well. So making music, a very powerful first step towards neuroplasticity and changing their brains. The second step is movement. So any educator who's teaching rhythm to kids, or any educator that's working with any age and rhythm, movement is the key to understanding rhythm in the body. It's kinesthetic, rhythmic phrases we want to move to. We feel it in the body. And so it's a right brain experience where we drop into it. Anytime I want to have students understand working with polyrhythms or with odd meters, if they move it, they understand it. And so scientists say that movement is another key pathway to neuroplasticity. In movement, if we're engaged in moving as we're learning information, we are much more likely to remember the information and to integrate it into our knowledge base. And it becomes codified, so it's something that we can use again and connect to other things that we're learning along the way. So movement is a key element. The third one is creative play. I love this one. In creative play, we're making it up. We're not quite sure what's going to happen. And so this attitude of wonder. So you're in the game, improvising, and you don't know what's coming next, but you know you're going to say yes to the opportunity to explore. And then you have the opportunity to have awe, like a child, like a 3-year-old in play. That attitude of play, returning to that childlike attitude of play, engages the brain and helps us learn better. And it's a wonderful tool for students understanding how we begin to listen to each other, how we can connect to one another, and how we can use music as a language of nonverbal communication. Wonderful tools, lifelong skills that can be used at any point in their lives. The fourth one is numinous experience. When I first heard this word, I went, numinous. And it sounded to me like luminous. Numinous means when many create as one. And if you think about an improvisational experience like a drum circle, the community gathers, everybody has a sound, everybody is unique, everybody has something to offer. So it's inclusive, and everybody respects one another, and the sounds are respected, and there's room for everyone to have a place in the circle and in the music making. And we begin the circle not knowing what we're going to create. We just know that our relationships to ourselves and to each other is going to be the roadmap to what we create. And the end result of what we create is not the goal. The goal is the journey that we go through as we're creating together. The numinous experience. And so we're going to explore that a little further as we go along today. 4 key primary pathways to neuroplasticity: making music, movement, creative play, and numinous experience. How can we imagine using these tools as we move forward? And how can we bring these primary tools of music education out into the community so more people can be ignited with the power of play and creativity? So I would like to share now the power of movement, particularly when students are learning to drum. And I use this method all the way with my very young learners, all the way up to my seniors. And I love the idea that it's waking up the brain when you're crossing the midline, but it's also calming down the brain. So there's 3 primary ways to cross the midline. So we're going to start with the first one, which is just forward and back. So when I'm drumming with the students, we go in the middle, bass, bass, tone, tone, bass, bass, tone, tone. So you can join me. If we were together at the conference, I would give you a drum and I would have you join me, or I'd invite you to go knee, knee, thigh. Thigh body drum works as well because it's really about the movement and the engagement. Now, once we have it moving, it's really important to sing over it. Then we drop into that kinesthetic experience without thinking about what we're doing. So here we go. I'll give you a call. Just call it back. Hey, 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 ah. Good. Ah, my, my, yeah, yeah. Ah, my, yeah, yeah. Hey, oh, sa, yeah, yeah, my, my. Hey, oh, sa, yeah, yeah, my, my. Oh, yo, yeah, na, na. Oh, yo, yeah, na, na. So after a period of time, students relax, they get more focused, and this is a wonderful thing to do in the beginning of a music class, but also, I think, in any curricular area to get students to drum on desk, to calm down, to focus. This could be used anywhere in the school community. I think these tools are fabulous also to develop a sense of wellness. So we'll explore that in a little bit. Second one is, so we cross the midline forward and back. The second one is side to side. And so a nice way to do this, and I'll show you on my body first if you're working on your body, is you've got the knees and your thighs. So you still make sure you have the movement. So we go knee and then back, back. Other knee, back, back. And it's really nice if you can think of a name or a fruit or something that has 3 syllables. I love to use somebody's name. So what if we did Christopher? If I had a Christopher in the group, I would ask you as a group, hey, does anybody have a 3-syllable name? So now you're thinking person instead of number. Very important piece of this. So we go Christopher, Christopher. So the big beat is on a knee, and really accentuate the crossing the midline from side to side. Christopher, Christopher. Okay, so keep on going. If we got a drum, we'll go bass, tone, tone, walking hands, just like you would have walking feet. Here we go. Christopher, Christopher, something over. Ishe Olua. You give that a try? Ishe Olua. Great. Kole Bajayo. So I've got this dance, and then keep the dance alive, and you can start to play. And we build from there. So that's the second cross the midline, side to side. So now we have forward, back, side, side. The third one was one I hadn't thought about. To my friend Eve Kodiak was presenting at an ORF conference many years ago. And she was talking about neurological development in young children. And she said, Mary, come on in. You know that your drumming is crossing the midline 3 ways. I always knew about the forward, back, and side to side. And she said, the up, down. And she said, when you do Calypso, you are actually riding up and down in your seat. And I went, oh, I am. So let's try that. I like to start with the students. And again, if you're on body drum, and you can do this with your students too, I would go knee, thigh, knee, thigh, it's Calypso, it's, and it is a entire dance as I introduce Calypso. So here we go. And it's Calypso, it's Calypso. And so with young children, or with anyone, I like to say, ride the donkey, ride the donkey, ride the donkey. And I invite them to become very engaged so they really have the dance of the up and down midline cross. And then I'll sing and see if they can call it back. Here we go. Ting-a-lay-yo, ting-a-lay-yo. Run my little donkey, run. Run my little donkey, run. Ting-a-lay-yo, ting-a-lay-yo. Run my little donkey, run. Run my little donkey, run. When you stop, I ask the kids to notice how they feel. And they'll say, oh, I can feel vibration in my body. Absolutely. The movement is waking up the brain and getting it engaged and ready to learn, but also calming the body so that you're ready to take new information in. Great tools for education. My most favorite presentations are when I get to be there with you in person. Since I can't, I'm going to do my best to recreate the experience of a drum circle or a music circle, and you'll see why I call that in a minute. And I want to connect it to reimagining the possibility of using the tools we use in music education in a broader outreach. And so beginning with social emotional learning. From educators discussing what's going to be most important as we move back out of this period of COVID and this time of isolation and disconnection, the connection and social emotional learning is going to be huge. And I believe that as music educators, we have all the tools for other educators to use. And so I want to share those with you here. So the first one is self-awareness. So this idea in a drum circle, everybody has a place. And we're feeling the groove, so we are aware of what we might have to say. I might speak to you. You would answer. I might go. So I might express what's inside me. And you would answer and express what's inside you, connecting to what's going on inside and using the nonverbal language of music to express it. Awareness. Yes. Self-management, one of my favorite things to do with particularly young children, even before we get a drum, I'll show you without a drum, is to take a breath And then with their voices, to siren down with me and say boom when they get to their legs. Ready? Here we go. And look around the room. Here we go. Ah, boom. Finding each other. I usually do it 3 times, and by the 3rd time, the group has connected. They're aware of the rest of the group, and they're socially aware of, oh, look at the way we're all coming down, boom, together. Again, numinous experience as well, and movement. And we're sirening through all the vocal possibilities of our voice. So this is another beautiful way to warm up the voice as well. You accomplish a lot of goals with that one very simple breath to boom activity. The next one is babble and freeze. And so you can do this just with your hands. With really young children, I start and I say, prepare. Think about the brain organizing information. Take a breath in. To pronto. Or ready. I love the Italian ready. So show me ready. And then I say go. Wiggle your fingers as fast as you can. Go. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, freeze. And they hold a shape. And you can ask them to hold a shape of an emotion, like sad or happy or surprised. It's another way to connect to awareness, emotional awareness in the body as well. And then the 3rd time, I'll do that 3 times. The 2nd time I'll say, attach a sound to that. So I say, prepare, breath. Ready, pronto. This time, I don't know what your fingers are going to sound like. Mine sound like this. Go, Mary. I don't know what yours are going to sound like, but let's go together. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, freeze. And again, they freeze and hold it. Self-management. If they can come out of the chaos of everybody going and freeze, I know that they can manage themselves well enough with the instruments that we can start our drum circle. Breath to boom and babble to freeze. 2 very important and very simple strategies to get groups ready, to get them connected to themselves and also connected to the group, to get them being able to manage themselves, be socially aware of the group. And now we build relationship skills. What I love in a drum circle is there's a groove. So you can hear I created a groove on my loop. So imagine those were the first 3 players in the circle. I'm going to turn it up just a little. So I hope you'll come on the adventure with me. Here we go. So I say, feel this in your body. This is the movement part. Got it. So now we're kinesthetically engaging to pulse, to the beat. And you look around and you say, oh, everybody else has got to dance too. Some might be like this. They might be feeling a little different, and that's okay. They're connecting to what they're feeling. Some might be doing this. So you find your way into the groove in your body, and then we add one by one around the circle. And so when it's your turn, I say, don't fill it in. You need to listen and move and connect and leave space. There's a lot of people in this circle that are going to need to join. Relationship skills. So we want to leave room for everybody to have a space to be heard. So you might go, leaving room, and you can connect body to pulse. Got it. Then the next person would add something else. And slowly the layers of drums and small percussion instruments will come in. Now, one of the things I love to do is add melodic instruments to this game. And the boomwhackers are fabulous. So for years, I've been adding the boomwhackers to my drum circles. And I like that they're under control. So I like to have them a stick and a boomwhacker. And again, so they're bringing in, great, and then orange comes in, you have a boom whacker at home, you can join in as well. I'll usually use pentatonic, C, D, E, G, A. So everything sort of blends together in my music circle. And then the bells work great. And I use this a lot with young children and also with seniors. And notice I'm grabbing it. So my fingers are grasping and muting it. Yes. Super. Great. And the resonator bars are fabulous. So I'll use this in the same way, and I'll show you here a little closer. Notice my thumb. I'm going to be muting the resonator bar so that I can control the rhythm. You could have them do a long ring, or see my thumb? I'm going to add a couple of these here. And you start to hear how the circle builds, and the melody to me is just fabulous. If you have recorder players, you can add the recorders. You can add the ukuleles, and I'll usually tune them into slack key tuning. That means your first string is a G instead of an A. Everybody's in the game. Now let's think about this process. Everybody is listening. They're connected to one another. They're speaking with their sound, music as a nonverbal language. They're collaborating and creating together, making decisions. They're adjusting. They're practicing flexibility and flow. And I like to think they're getting inspired by other ideas around the circle. They hear something, go, oh, wow, let's try that. Oh, I love that. So imitation, inspiration, taking ideas in. And the numinous experience expands because a drum circle, a music circle, is always changing, kind of like life, even in these changing times. It's always in the state of flow. What about if we took a look at 21st century skills? And these are lifelong skills. The skills are creativity. Making music like this is incredibly creative. You're exploring, you're expanding, and then you're contracting, taking two ideas and making a simple rhythm, and then exploring again, pulling in ideas from people around you, and pulling out ideas from your own wellspring of genius inside. We're collaborating with each other. We're communicating in a new way, non-verbally. And we're critically thinking. Innovation. We're making decisions as we go along. Changing, finding space, finding another place to play. Letting things go, adding new things. The 4 C's of 21st century education are in full process and play in a music circle. Now, when I reimagine what's possible in music education moving forward, what I see is that music education offers these incredible tools for addressing social emotional learning and literacy, for addressing 21st century skills, the 4 C's: creativity, collaboration, communication, and critical thinking. And relationship skills. We learn so much about being together when we're in musical process. And it really is about the process of learning, which ignites a passion for lifelong learning. If we were together, you would have some kind of instrument. You would have a resonator bar, you would have a boom whacker, and a stick. You might have a bell, you might have a drum, you might have a shaker egg. You would have something to join in to the community music making experience. Since I'm not with you in person, I wanted to recreate it with you so you could see what happens in a larger music circle. And I wanted to share one of my favorite songs. I love the energy of this song when Bobby McFerrin wrote it. I love the message. Don't worry, be happy. In these challenging times, boy, that's a great message. I use it with my students, and they create a theme song. And they write their own words about what's challenging to them in their lives. And when we sing Bobby's chorus, it's so much fun. And so, the other key point that I want to share about the opportunity that music education offers students is leadership. So I'm always looking for ways to train the students to lead the group. In this way, they're empowered to practice those lifelong skills of stepping into leadership so that they know their capability of managing a group. So, here's one of my very favorite ways to do that. I begin with these cues. So I'll say, when I hold up this, these notes play. So we go, bop, 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 bop. Wait, 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 wait. It's coming back. You ready? If you have these notes, bop, 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 bop. Now, bop, 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 bop. It's gonna change. Now these notes, bop, D, F, A, and F, A, C, and back to C, E, G. Let's try it again. Bop, 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 bop. Change. Bop, 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 and change. Bop, 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 bop. Change back to here now. So we have kind of a reggae. They step and tap, tap. Are you ready? Everybody's in. Imagine we're together, having a wonderful time. Here we go. Everybody will sing the first verse. Here we go. Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to learn it note for note. Don't worry. Oh, no, no. Be happy. Do-do-do-da-da-da-da-da. In every life you have some trouble. Oh, when you worry, you make it double. Don't you worry now. Oh, no, no. Be happy. Do-do-do-da-da-da. Don't worry. Be happy. Da 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 da. Do 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 da da da. Don't worry. Be happy. Thank you so much for joining my session today. And thank you to Rhythm Band Instruments for sponsoring this session. And thank you so much for having these really fun instruments that we can use to create together. And thank you for joining me with this idea that we could reimagine what's possible in music education as we move forward. I believe, as I said, in the transformative power of music. I believe that music can teach us everything we need to know about being a quality human being in the world. And I believe that music making offers us an attitude and joy that helps us to thrive in the world. I also believe it helps us to become lifelong learners because we have a sense of innovation. We have a sense of creative play. And that can last a lifetime, always changing, always growing. And it's not about the end point or the product. It's about the process, the journey that we make. So remember that we can capture the 4 C's of 21st century education: creativity, collaboration, communication, and critical thinking, and innovation. And we can capture CASEL's 5 core competencies, pulling in self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, and leadership skills, responsible decision-making. So reimagine the possibilities with me as we step forward. And let's continue bringing joyful music making into as many lives as possible. Have fun, and thank you.